Imagine you are looking up at the night sky. You see the familiar stars, planets, and the faint glow of the Milky Way. For all of human history, we have looked up and wondered, are we alone? Now imagine that tomorrow, on October 21st, 2025, we get an answer. An undeniable, crystal-clear signal arrives. It's not a strange radio blip that could be a pulsar. It's not a garbled message we spend decades trying to decode. This is a direct, intentional communication, and it is addressed to the leaders of the United States government. The cosmic silence has been broken. This single event would instantly become the most profound moment in our species' journey. Everything we thought we knew about our place in the universe would be reevaluated. The message itself might be simple, perhaps a sequence of prime numbers or a map of their star system relative to ours. It doesn't matter what the content is initially. The fact that it exists is the revolution. It is confirmation that life, and intelligent life at that, exists beyond our small, blue world. This is the moment science fiction becomes science fact, and our perspective shifts forever. This isn't a blurry photo of a supposed UFO. This isn't a conspiracy theory whispered in the dark corners of the internet. This is a verifiable, authenticated message received by our most sophisticated instruments. Government agencies, from NASA to the Space Force, would verify its extraterrestrial origin beyond any shadow of a doubt. The signal is real. The contact is real. Suddenly, the President of the United States holds a secret more significant than any state secret in history. The weight of that knowledge would be immense, as the next steps could define the future of humanity itself. The universe, in its vast, silent expanse, has finally spoken to us. Or at least one voice from within it has. For generations, we have sent our own messages into the void, like a note in a bottle tossed into a cosmic ocean. We sent the golden record on the Voyager probes, filled with the sounds and images of Earth. We have beamed out radio signals, hoping someone, somewhere, might hear them. Now someone has answered the call. The question is no longer, are they out there? But who are they, and what do they want? The next chapter of human history is about to be written. The first reaction inside the White House would be one of controlled, electrified secrecy. Imagine the scene: top advisors, military generals, and intelligence chiefs gathered in the Situation Room. The initial priority would not be a public announcement, it would be containment. They would need to understand what they were dealing with before the world did. Information would be classified at the highest possible level. The goal is to prevent widespread panic or chaos. Every person who knows about the contact would be sworn to absolute silence. This is not a time for leaks or speculation. It is a time for careful, deliberate planning. Immediately, the government would assemble a specialized task force. This wouldn't just be politicians and generals. It would be a multidisciplinary team of our brightest minds. Linguists would be brought in to decipher the message's structure, even if its meaning is unclear. Astrophysicists, biologists, and engineers would be summoned to analyze the signal's properties and speculate on the technology behind it. Sociologists and historians would be consulted to predict potential societal impacts. This first contact team would become the most important committee on Earth, working in secret to formulate a response strategy. The next crucial step would be to establish a secure, two-way channel of communication if possible. Can we reply? Should we reply? The debate would be intense. Sending a message back is a monumental decision. It confirms we are here and that we are listening. What should we say? A simple hello? A complex mathematical proof? Or do we stay silent, listening, and learning more before revealing our own cards? The task force would weigh the risks of appearing hostile by not responding against the risks of revealing too much about ourselves too soon. Every option carries cosmic consequences. Simultaneously, discrete inquiries would be made to other world powers. While the US might be the first point of contact, this is a global event. The president would likely contact the leaders of countries like China, Russia, and the European Union. A secret, high-level dialogue would begin. Sharing this burden is essential for global stability. If one nation tries to monopolize contact with an alien civilization, it could lead to distrust, jealousy, and conflict on a scale we've never seen. The challenge is to foster cooperation when the instinct might be to compete for this ultimate prize. For the scientific community, this moment would be the dawn of a new renaissance. Once the existence of the aliens is confirmed, every scientist on Earth would have a list of questions that could fill libraries. The most immediate questions would be about biology. Are they carbon-based life, like us? Do they have DNA? How do they reproduce, metabolize energy, and evolve? The answers could rewrite every biology textbook on the planet. We would want to know if life follows a universal template, or if there are countless ways to build a living being from the stardust. Physicists and engineers would be just as eager. How did they travel or send a signal across the vast distances between stars? Do they have a mastery of physics that is beyond our wildest dreams? Have they harnessed dark energy or created stable wormholes? Their technology could hold the keys to solving our biggest challenges, from clean energy to faster-than-light travel. We would want to know about their understanding of the fundamental laws of the universe. Do they have a unified theory that connects gravity with the quantum world? The possibilities for learning are almost infinite. Beyond the hard sciences, we would have questions about their society, culture, and history. Are they a single unified global civilization, or are they a collection of different nations and cultures like us? Do they have art, music, and philosophy? What are their values? Have they overcome challenges like war, poverty, and disease? Learning about their social evolution could provide a roadmap for our own future. It could show us how a species can survive its technological adolescence without destroying itself, a test we are currently undergoing. Perhaps the most profound questions would be the philosophical ones. Do they have a concept of a god or gods? What is their understanding of consciousness and the meaning of existence? Are they mortal? Do they ponder their place in the cosmos as we do? These questions touch the very core of what it means to be an intelligent, self-aware being. Their perspective, forged in a different world under a different sun, could provide us with a completely new context for our own lives. It would be the ultimate exchange of ideas, a dialogue between two different forms of cosmic consciousness. The moment the news breaks to the public, our world would change irrevocably. The initial reactions would be a tidal wave of every human emotion. There would be incredible excitement and wonder. People would gather in streets and parks, looking up at the sky with new eyes. Celebrations would erupt across the globe, fueled by the sheer joy of discovery and the hope for a brighter future. This shared experience could unite humanity in a way nothing has before. We would all, for a moment, be simply Earthlings, citizens of a single, newly contacted world. But alongside the hope, there would be fear. The unknown is always frightening. People would worry about the aliens' intentions. Are they peaceful explorers or hostile invaders? History is filled with examples of more technologically advanced civilizations overwhelming less advanced ones. This dark forest theory, where civilizations hide for fear of being destroyed, would weigh heavily on people's minds. Religions would face an existential crisis, trying to fit this new reality into their ancient doctrines. The potential for social unrest and panic would be very real. This event would force us to confront our own nature. The hope is that contact would inspire us to be better. It could trigger a new era of global cooperation as we work together to represent our planet. We might finally set aside our petty national rivalries and focus on solving our shared problems like climate change and disease. The chance to learn from a civilization that is likely far older and wiser could accelerate our own development by millennia. We could learn how to become a truly sustainable, peaceful, and interstellar species. Ultimately, the future after first contact is a giant question mark. It represents both the greatest hope and the greatest potential threat to humanity. We could gain unimaginable knowledge and friendship, or we could face our own extinction. The path forward would depend as much on our own actions and maturity as it would on the aliens' intentions. The arrival of this message is not an ending. It is the beginning of a new, uncertain, and incredibly exciting cosmic story. What happens next is up to us.